Hi, I'm Justin. I'm a product development engineer at Cabot Microelectronics. Today I'm going to show you a little bit about our settling studies, some of our early age settling studies that are in R&D, and some of our settling studies that are in our commercialization team. After a research and development scientist invents a slurry, I take that slurry and place some of it in these graduated cylinders here to determine whether or not we have caking slurries or settling slurries like this here, or non-settling slurries like this. The test is usually about 6 months long, and we use the data that we collect in this test to determine if we're going to use drum recirculation or drum impeller mixing for our testing in their future shelf life studies. After we complete the small-scale graduated cylinder settling study, we move on to a larger-scale clear acrylic settling study. We do this test in order to see whether or not the slurry cakes in a larger container, and if it does, we use impeller mixing in order to see if that cake is removed from the bottom of the container. So this slurry here shows a particle that's caked all the way at the bottom of the container. We have clear liquid suspension at the top and particle at the bottom. This is actually really bad in our system because we need to create slurries that have particles that are homogeneous in our slurry. We will use mechanical agitation in this to try to get the particle that's caked on the bottom back into suspension. So these are the same two slurries. This slurry's been sitting for 4 months and this slurry's been sitting for 1 month. You can see in this slurry the particles settled all the way to the bottom in a 4-month time frame, while the slurry next to it is the exact same formulation, but we see about 25% of the particle is settled over a 1-month time frame. These 3 slurries here at the end are all the same age. They are separate formulations. You can see there's various levels of stratification in these slurries. This slurry here in the middle actually has a lot of particle that's still fully homogenized in the slurry. Even though this slurry looks like it could possibly be the best formulation for non-settling or stratification, we're performing this test in order to determine whether or not we need mechanical agitation or drum recirculation when we move to the full-scale shelf life study. At Cabot Microelectronics, our goal is to create slurries that are homogeneous throughout their lifetime. However, sometimes the chemistries that we have to choose in order to meet polishing performance create slurries that settle, like this one here. Our mixing and handling instructions can be used in order to re-homogenize the slurry once at the customer site. During the acrylic settling study, we actually fill 2 acrylic containers. One of them we mix at half the shelf life, and the other one we mix at the entire shelf life. For this slurry that actually settles and cakes, we're using an A310 impeller. This impeller is used because of its high force down into the bottom of the container to remove the settled particle. Some of our customers purchase slurries in rectangular jerry cans, so this test will show whether or not settled abrasive that's stuck in the corner of the containers will actually be removed from our mechanical agitation. You can see here there's still some particle that's stuck to the bottom of the container. We're doing this test with mechanical agitation at various times in order to determine the proper amount of time needed to remove the abrasive without over-mixing the slurry. So right now I'm setting up to do longer mixing in order to remove that particle cake from the bottom of the container. As you can see, all the particles removed from the bottom of the pail with more agitation. This slurry is now ready to be used at the customer site.